Bob Fest's hometown concert in Mendocino will be August 7th and 8th. 2 nights, same great show both nights. Doors open at 6, music starts at 7:30. We'll have food, we have a bar, we have dancing. Come out and enjoy yourself. The great thing about Bob Fest is you don't have to like Bob Dylan to enjoy this show. We take our own arrangements of the music of Bob Dylan. Each one has a discrete identity. Each is just great to listen to. And if you love Bob Dylan, you're really going to love this show also. Our musicians take the time when they do these arrangements to look at the songs, read the songs, talk about the meaning of the songs, and try to imbue their performance with that meaning. And it really comes across very, very well. The rules of Bob Fest were the philosophy of Bob Fest, and this came out very early of what I wanted to happen. One was that we do original arrangements of these songs, and that each song has its own discrete identity to it. That this is not a band that's just sitting up there playing Bob Dylan songs. This is a series of some 30-some songs with their own sound, their own identity to them, and it really engages the audience. People love that because they're individual performances rather than just the music of Bob Dylan. And so that's a very important thing for us to be able to do that. It makes it the show itself much more complex because you're constantly changing musicians and sound and equipment and things throughout the show. But we're getting faster and faster at it. It's getting down so that it passes from song to song quite quickly now. But it's so important to do it because nobody does this. It's too tough for most groups to do this kind of thing. So, you know, that's why it's fun to do it, I think. Really a big city sound. It's not amateur hour. It's not a small town concert. It's something that's very special that involves these musicians to do their absolute best, and they really produce. They really perform. We're truly blessed up here on the coast with a tremendous amount of really great musicians, singers, instrumentalists, both the semi-pros, the people that are out there playing all the time but have their regular jobs, to a lot of big-time names within the music business who happen to live up here and maybe are semi-retired now that do get involved here and there with things, as well as some working pros that will drop in and do some work with us. That we sometimes take musicians and take them out of their comfort zone. So I get the jazz guitarist and I go, okay, you're going to play a couple rock and roll leads now. And they have the chops, they're confused, they're out of their element, but it forces them to get into that. And it also, by doing that, adds maybe a different sound to what might be a straightforward rock and roll lead, because they're going to play it differently coming from a jazz background. And we do that in a lot of different ways. Take somebody that's a solo artist and put them in front of a big band and tell them they got to belt it out. They haven't done that before in their life. And so it's fun to do and see what comes out with it. But it always adds to the richness of the performance when you do some things like that. Peter Temple does our sound for us. It's one of those things where this is not an easy concert to do. It's not like a band that plays basically at one level. You're dealing with anything from very delicate acoustic guitar and even a cappella singing to full-blown rock and roll numbers. So the sound variation, the amount of microphones, the amount of inputs and everything that we need is really critical to give that wonderful sound that we achieve. Yeah, it is. It's very challenging. You're dealing not. It's not a matter of just turning the volume up and down. Each individual microphone input is constantly being adjusted for the individual artist and the sound he wants. So it's a real art form, and kudos to him. He does a superb job. Very complex show where you'll have 10 and 12 part harmonies. We've got 14 musicians, all of whom sing. We may have 7, 8, 9 instruments playing at the same time and a dozen voices. So it's very critical that we have top-notch sound and a top-notch sound person You know, it's a wonderful place we live in. You're going to be able to go and see really a big city show. Something that you're going to pay $20 for. If it was in San Francisco, it would be packed and you'd pay $80 to go see. Very high quality. An interpretation of individual arrangements of Bob Dylan. This is a great concert for people that don't understand Bob Dylan, don't like Bob Dylan. They don't have to like, you never have to listen to Bob Dylan again in your life if you don't want to. But he is the greatest songwriter of all time, and you got to hear these songs the way we do them. It does usually sell out, so people should get their tickets early. Again, you can get them starting for around the 1st of July in Mendocino at Out of This World, and also at Icons in Mendocino, and at Fort Bragg at the Music Merchant next to Harvest Market, or online at brownpapertickets.com. That's a great way to get your tickets.